Hello. Have I clicked that? हाँ कल नहीं मुझे नहीं है SJIHS at 1 2 3 4 हाँ मुझे नाम चेंज करता हूँ हेलो नहीं प्रवीण SJIHS on Microsoft.com कल नहीं at Microsoft.com मुझे नहीं है हेलो SJIHS at 1 2 3 4 सांगे राहते चक्कर नाव चेंज करतो नाही बट सांगून आहे ना मग चेंज केलं मग प्रवीण SJIHS on Microsoft.com काल नाही at Microsoft.com मुझे नहीं क्या SJIHS at 1 2 3 सांगे राहते चक्कर
Hello. 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 Okay. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, dear students and parents. St. Joseph's Indian High School, Bengaluru, Interact Club, Rotary Bangalore Orchid, presents Guidance Program 2020-21. We are going to start our program very shortly. I request all the students to unmute your mics, mute your mics, and take part in this webinar.
Good morning to one and all present here. Many of us are confused when asked, what's our plan after SSLC? And many of us make wrong choices because others insist us to do so. Therefore, the Interact Club of St. Joseph Indian High School has taken initiative for the career guidance of 10th standard students. I, Vaishnav, the secretary.
And I, J, the treasurer of Rotary Interact Club of St. Joseph's Indian High School, are the MCs of today's in prayer to have a heart without Almighty and everlasting, we pray that you put us in the right direction as we search for our educational journey towards our career. Please align us with your plan. Fill us with the values and convictions that will equip us for this educational choice. When we feel doubtful or lost on this career, we pray that you remind me of your never. You have designed us and our story beautifully. Lord, we pray and unfold. This we ask in your loving name. Amen.
Small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast. Now, I would like to welcome Master Nikhil Kumar, the President, and Master Amram Son, the Sergeant of Arms of Rotary Interact Club, to welcome the gathering and to introduce our chief guest of the webinar.
It's not what you achieve, it's what you overcome. That's what defines your career. A very good morning to one and all present here. I, A. Nikhil Kumar from Class 10, appointed President of the Interact Club for the academic year 2021. My immense pleasure to be welcoming everyone present here today and introducing our esteemed guest who would be guiding us about the fields that we can pursue in the future. First and foremost, I welcome our Vice Principals, Father Felix Anand SJ and Mrs. Savita, who have been a constant support in all the meetings and activities that we do in our school today. I extend my hearty welcome to our honorable guest, Mr. Pradeep Devata, who is the Director for Youth Service of the Rotary International Orchids. And he has been actively coordinating and collaborating with us to make this event a success. I would like to welcome Mr. Farooq, a business person and the Vice President of St. Joseph Indian High School's PTA committee. He has been a member of Rotary Club of Mysore, Midtown since 2006. He has been the chairman of Attendance Committee, Membership Development Committee, Road Track and Interact chairman at various times. He has also enthusiastically involved in many of our school events and meetings with the Interact Club. I'm delighted to welcome the three highly accomplished guest speakers whom we have with us today. Dr. Krishna Kumar, Mrs. Judith P. George, and Ms. Pooja Iyer. I warmly welcome all our beloved teachers, my fellow students, and everyone present here to this webinar.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, I'm the Sergeant of Arms. Before we start the session, we would like to give a brief introduction about the guest speakers. Our first speaker, Krishna Kumar. He is a business coach, mentor, and a trainer. He is a mechanical engineer with a postgraduate degree in management, postgrad diploma in industrial and organizational psychology, and PhD in management. He has 39 years of vast hands-on, practical and pragmatic business experience. He has held top management, managing director positions in different industries. He was involved in different business sectors such as manufacturing, engineering, service trading, retail business, construction and design engineering and project management and consultancy services. He has traveled and has set and delivered successful companies with growth and profitability. Currently, is
Now, the choice is what you make now. The choice to further studies, the choice of following a passion. And this word passion is something which we use it regularly day in and day out, more like a fashion. Its passion is something which you have to deeply like it. Something which you are going to dream about it, you are going to live about it, eat it, drink it, whatever it is. The passion is something which you will have to constantly live. It should not be a simple liking that you like it for today and then change it tomorrow. You will have choices what maybe the parents try to advise you. The parents may force you, or the parents may say that, okay, why not to go for something else? We have all faced it. Even I would have faced it. So, but then how are we going to tell our parents what is the choice you are going to make? Am I going to make a choice to be a good lawyer? Am I going to be tell that I'm going to be a good guy in the humanities? I want to be a good guy in the political science or in digital marketing. What is it? On top of these pressures, you have the choices of peer pressures, the fellow students or the colleagues whom you have. There are some pressures from them. You have choice of what you're going to chase in your life. You have choices of what you don't want to do, and you have a choice what you want to do seriously and passionately. There are choices which happen, you just go and pick it up because of ignorance. Today, we're all here to discuss what are the various choices available. I have with me two very good people and eminent people in their fields. Judith and Pooja, who will be addressing you all along with me about the various choices you can make, what are the opportunities it will be there for you, which you can choose to make a career, maybe like an entrepreneur. And if people say that you want to be a doctor, then you have the MBBS side, you have an Ayurvedic doctor, you have an homeopathic doctor. So that each one of them is a wonderful line. Each one of them serves. And how best you can serve is how good you become. There are many choices. And before you jump into any of the choice, please remember almost 40 years of your life or 45 years for you from today is important for you. That's going to be the thing. So you can say that if I can become an entrepreneur, why not I look at becoming an entrepreneur at this age? I'll just give you one example. In the last 10 years, in India, we have had huge number of entrepreneurs. Almost 60 of the entrepreneurs have become billionaires worth of, or the created billions of worth companies. To be precise, it's more than $280 billion of business was created by a bunch of 60 good entrepreneurs. That is, you have almost 6 entrepreneurs every year, or every 2 months you had a wonderful entrepreneur. Maybe he would have been in Mumbai, it was a Flipkart, it could be an Oli or Ola, it is a Zomato, and you have many of them. Each one of them created a 7,000 crores value to the business. And they've all together given lakhs of people employment opportunities. You can also look at these areas to try to become an entrepreneur. More important, or the most important of all this, is the confidence. Yes, you can. The S, I can. The S, together we can. The confidence you need. The confidence in you is what the changes it can become better, or the best for you to go about it. So with this, I would like to end my talk here, and I'll be requesting my 2 other colleagues to start with. I'll ask my good advocate friend Judith George to please go ahead and enlighten the students about the hundreds of various ways they can practice law. Go ahead, Judith, unmute yourself and please talk.
Thank you, Dr. KK. Can you hear me?
Judith, have you unmuted? Please
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you, Judith, quite clearly.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr.
We
KK.
are not able to hear you, Judith. Maybe you can take off the earphone and then talk directly into the system.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Is it clear?
Yeah, go ahead.
Clear? Good morning, everyone. My name is Judith George, and I'm an advocate, a practicing advocate in Bangalore, Chennai, and Hyderabad right now. I run a law firm called as Judith George IP Attorneys and advocates and solicitors. So what we take care of, Akila, can you share my PPT, please? Thank you. So what we are talking about is a career for you guys, because you are the future of our country. You are our future. And please take this statement very, very seriously, because when we mean that you are our future, we definitely mean that you are our future. And this was told to us when we were at school. I'm a Josephite myself, and I'm a very proud Josephite. I make my teachers proud. So one day you make sure that you make your parents and your teachers proud. How do you do that? So to become an advocate, every day we are advocates, be it in your match, be it in your school, you are advocating. I'll teach you what you do. But to be an advocate before the Bar Council or before the court, the Honorable Court, we have a qualification to adhere to. That is, one is you can finish your 10th, then your first PU and second PU, or 11th or 12th, as the case may be, and then go in for a 5-year integrated LLB course. There you have 2 options. One is BA LLB, or in certain colleges you get a BCom LLB. That's your specialization again. Then you can go in for a practice, or you can pursue your master's in law. Another option would be a 3-year law course after you finish your graduation. That can be in any stream, your arts, your commerce, or any other stream, whichever you choose. Still, if you have the inclination towards law, then you can pursue that after your graduation. All right. The next slide. So I'll just give you a brief as to what it is. So lawyers in India handling different categories. You can read it. Now, you would have seen some advocates carrying a lot of files and running around. Okay, and the cases will never, like your parents would have told you, these cases are going on from my father's time, that is your grandparents' time. That would be, most of the cases would be the land cases. So there is land law, there is competition law, there's intellectual property law, there is family matters, there is family law, there is education law. There are certain rules and regulations for every segment in our society. We cannot do whatever we want to do in whichever field we have to do. We cannot go against the law. So these are the rights and the laws which are mentioned over here. So that is civil law, criminal, family, tax, IP, cyber, competition. So you have to look at what you want. What is that interests you? I'm unable to. Akila. Okay. Now, what I want you to do, observe your qualities. So now at this 10th standard, that is, you'll be 16 to 17-year-old. Now you have to observe your qualities as to what you want. Are you a quick learner? What attracts you the most? Now, if your teacher is teaching you something, does it interest you? Are you able to listen to it? Are you able to grasp? That is what matters. Because advocates, be it an advocate, be it a doctor, be it any profession you take, there is no cakewalks. Believe me, Dr. KK would agree with me, there is no cakewalks. You have to study. There is nothing, there is no shortcuts. I hear a very a phrase which is used in a general mode right now is be smart mode. Smart mode is good, but there is no shortcuts for your certifications. So you'll have to inculcate all these qualities in yourself, become a good lawyer or a good professional wherever you are. As expert in everything, you can't fall. You have to be an expert in whichever segment or stream you are in. Akila, I'm unable to change slides now. Okay. Now these are the other traits. So you have to observe this. Do you enjoy listening? Your teacher is teaching you. Do you hear her or do you listen to her? There is a lot of difference between hearing. You might be hearing us now. You might be muting yourself and you might be hearing us doing something else. All right. But there are some of you who might be literally listening to us, listening to Dr. KK or to these two madams, whatever they are talking. There must be something which we have to grasp. These you have to observe these qualities in yourself. You need not prove it or you need not explain this to anyone. Observe it. Empathizer. Do you listen to another person? Are you a researcher? Your teacher tells you, okay, 2 + 2 is equal to 4. Do you agree with her or do you sit and research? Do you ask your parents? Do you ask your other teachers? You have doubts. You have to, your mentors. Do you do that? Do you pay attention? Out of 80 students, there are, say, 60 students who go off. It's natural thing. There is nothing to hide or there is nothing to feel bad about. We just go off. We go in our own dreams. That's human. But putting our mind back to where it was and to the streamlining it, that is what matters. Do you pay attention? If you observe the people who have the students who are scoring 90+ or the A grade, they will be having a complete focus. Come what may. I have seen my colleagues and my friends who used to put cotton in their ears. They had this thought in their mind that if they speak to someone during exams or before exams, they'll forget. right? So these are the thought process which I think you need to mute some. So another thing would be, do you just listen or do you question what you listen? So are you a good researcher? And do you communicate well? Your parents are talking something and you are talking something else. What Dr. KK said, are you able to communicate to your parents, to your teachers, what you have in your head? Or are you going and telling them something which is not at all there in your head, but they are getting a different message? So you are lacking communication over there. Your mind is clear, your thoughts are clear. Only issue over here is you need to sort out your communication. So why is communication important? Akila, please change it. Akila, Akila, please can you change it? Now I'll go to the next slide. It's not seen over here. It's thinking out of the box. Okay. Now your teacher says, okay, go to a shop and pick up some pencils. Would you go to Commercial Street to pick up, or would you go to a shop next door, or would you ask your parents to come when they come down to pick up some pencils and come for you? So it's out of the box. Always think out of the box to get what the results what you want. Otherwise, you won't be able to get at a speedy. You won't be able to get what you want at the time what you want that to be achieved. And do you reflect? Your teacher says something, your parents say something. Do you reflect on that, or do you feel that okay, someone has told me something, let me just listen to it? Or do you feel that his parents never said, so why should I listen to my parents? Please understand, your teachers and your parents will talk only for you. Outside in the world, when you come out to the market, you have no one to take care of you. Let me be very, very blunt. St. Joseph's, it's like a heaven. You take care of, your every step is monitored, your every step is taken care of. Done. You are out in the market, no one is going to tell, even if you fall, if you slip, if you are in danger, no one is going to tell you. So you have to be alert to what your parents told you or what your teachers told you, because the basics come from there. Are you able to clarify? Are you able to search? Are you able to evaluate? Okay. And then next slide, please. Next slide, Akila. So another thing what I would want to ask is, are you into negotiation? See, I told you, you are an advocate in everyday's life. In day to day, you are an advocate. How? You're playing a match, right? There is one group which is not played really well, but you will be in that match and you will say it's okay. You will negotiate. Isn't it? Do you negotiate at your match? Do you negotiate and argue for what you want every single? Your parents have bought you a pink shoes or a blue shoes. You don't want that. Or you have gone and picked up a blue shoes. You convince your parents. This is nice. Isn't it? You argue for what you want. You stand for what you want. Don't you negotiate with your teacher for more physical training class? Madam, today I don't want the science class. Today I don't want the literature class. Let me, give us more give us 2 more physical training classes. Isn't it? We have done that. Okay. And we will sit and do group study. We will not study, but we will do that just to convince her that we need more physical training. Do you communicate the teacher's message? Now your principal or vice principal or someone has told you, okay, Mr. Rahul, go and tell in your class, give this message to your class. Observe this, children. Are you able to communicate the teacher's message or principal's message? to your group or batchmates? Be it on the ground, be it in your classroom, be it in a public place, are you able to, give them the message, convey to them clearly without creating ambiguity, without creating confusion in their minds? Should I come at 9:30 or 10? They shouldn't think like that. If you are able to communicate, then you'll be a good advocate. Then you have the skills to become a good advocate. Akila, please change the slide, ma. So negotiation, and if you think that going to become a lawyer is much easier, so your parents have told you have to become a doctor. You have no interest in becoming a doctor, but your parents are, they're giving you the peer pressure, telling you that, your relatives, your cousins are studying for medicine. You have to be, doctor. But you need to see what you are happy with. Okay. But only happiness will not give you money. You need to get into your, you need to take care of, you need to change your roles with your parents. You need to take care of them after some time. You need to take care of your life after some time. What would you do with that? So you have to improvise on your communication basics. Now you don't think about, tomorrow you're not getting into medicine or you're not getting into being an advocate, but you can decide. You give 4 options. You can decide as to what you can choose. You have an option there. Okay, Miss Pooja will give you the details as to how you can get into advocacy, how you can get into. She has a range of courses. Now, this communication I want to mention over here. Communication is the key to anything, be it software, be it your hardware, be it your advocacy, be it being a doctor, different types of being a doctor, then the educationist, enthusiastic. You have a different range of career. But if you don't have communication, there is no point. Even an agriculturist has to communicate to his farmers and to his retailers that this much money I have to get for this, right? He has to communicate. He has to speak up. So you have to have a fluency in your language. That is, there shouldn't create, if I speak something, you shouldn't hear it as something else. So there is no ambiguity. There is no confusion created in the mind of the other person listening to you. Say no to profanity, to obscenity. You exactly know what I'm talking. You say to swearing words, to vulgar words, to excessive aggressiveness, foul language, curse or cuss words. Please avoid this. Your teachers, your parents, your people in the society, your mentors, everyone knows these words. It's not that they do not know, and it is not invented by you. All right? But it's a status. It is the dignity of a person which stops them from using. That is the beauty of a character. If you are living in a society which is structured, we have rules, norms, regulations for everything, right? At that point in time, there are certain words which are not supposed to be used in public. There are certain words which, avoid these words. Just mere avoiding these words will increase your dignity wherever you are. I wouldn't like to speak to a person who is using these words on and off. I stay away from such people. It's not because they are bad, but the words what they use, it doesn't give us that comfort level. So if you think it is a new norm, it is no. Every day, even from 18th century till date, the norm has been the same, that no one can stand disrespectful words. So when you don't want somebody else to disrespect you, make sure you do not do the same. And with your kind of age, definitely this is there. We understand your point, but stay away from it. Next slide. So advantages of being an advocate. Now we are speaking as to how we became. Okay, you are a perfect advocate now. Now, if you say, I am going to sing. For 5 years, you will sing. As Dr. KK mentioned, you have to earn for a living also. Even if you're a millionaire's son, you have to maintain that million in your bank account, right? So you have to earn every day. How do you earn? If you are an advocate, you will earn your funds. But for that, you need to have knowledge. And from where do you get knowledge? listen from where they come from. See, for you, you're just talking to them that, why my parents are nagging. But for them, you're the world. They will make no mistake when they decide for their world, isn't it? Your teachers will not make any mistake when you are their world. So always remember, pay an empathetic ear to the other person. In advocacy, you get a multitudes of career options. You can be a civil lawyer, criminal lawyer, IP lawyer. See, initially I was having a criminal law practice. 6 years I practiced criminal law. After that, I moved to corporate law because of my family pressure. It was not that I didn't like. I loved criminal law practice. But we are outside all the time. We are in the stations all the time. My parents were not very comfortable. We're coming back, going out, and we are meeting only the accused kind of segment. It is only their accused. They are not the criminals. But our society, we will have issues. Financial stability. You will grow. As Mr. KK said, you should not be just you should be an expert in and respect. If you would have seen, if you go to a family function, your father and your mother gets into a function, they come and they do this. Why is that? It's a respect what they have earned throughout the years. Through the years, they have not used any words. They have maintained their decorum. All these things count. So when your parents and teachers speak something to you, please listen to it. Awareness of rights and responsibilities. You speak about anything to a lawyer, they will always have a defense. It's not that they want to argue on anything, but they know what they're talking about, because we have sat for 5 years and we have studied. We have sat for days together when my cousins and my friends were going in for weddings. We have sat and studied and for our exams. So it is not easy work. It is hard work. Anywhere you go, software, be it hard. No, but there is a thing in the society wherein your parents want you to be an engineer first, doctor or a lawyer. Doctor, engineer. You don't get a seat, doctor, engineer, become a lawyer. No, you have to earn knowledge, and you're highly adaptable. Anywhere you go, you will be able to adapt yourself and master critical thinking as well as analytical. So wherever you go, you will survive it. So even if you're the last bencher, don't worry. I was a last bencher. Okay, don't worry. Life will give you a beautiful chance. Life is beautiful. I wish you, each one of you, a beautiful career. Okay, just that, don't lose hope. Stay focused, and God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kiki.
Hello. Yeah.
I still have time.
Pooja. Yeah. So, dear young friends, I'll request our expert career counselor, career lady who can talk about various career options, and an experienced person, good friend of mine, and Pooja Iyer. Over to Pooja.
Thank you, Dr. KK. I'm just going to try sharing my screen. Just give me a moment. Do let me know if my screen is visible and if I'm audible. Hi, I just wanted to check if I'm audible. Okay, great.
Yes, Pooja, we can hear you.
A very good morning, everyone. Thank you so much to St. Joseph's Indian High School, to the principal, to the management, teachers, and the Interact Club and team for having us here today. Dr. KKR, Ms. Judith, Dr. Pradeep. It's great to be here today in this illustrious forum and talking to all of you students today. Now, you guys are in the 10th standard, okay? And the crucial question that's been under the surface for a long time pops up, right? What are you going to do after class 10? You're surrounded by so much information from all sides. Everyone seems to have an opinion or an exclamation. Oh, you still don't know what you want to do. Some people will tell you there's no future in arts. Some people will say, oh, look at Mr. Kumar's son. He's done computer science engineering and he's so successful. Maybe your friends are saying, Ada, let's start a business, right? You want to do something, maybe your parents want you to do something else. And most likely that will be science, because that seems to be a favorite career option for a lot of Indian parents, okay? Now, to add to this, there are a wide range of mainstream career options, correct? Whichever stream you choose, science, arts, or commerce, there are a whole plethora of career options that are available. If you add to this, there are new age career options available. You can become a bioinformatician, a YouTuber, a blogger, a nanotechnologist, a robotic scientist. Here are some very unique career options. You could become a machine risk officer or a data detective. What does that even mean? I'm sure you all have heard of artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data. The whole future of technology has changed very much, and a lot of data and information is being collected every single minute, right? So there are people who are actually trying to maintain privacy, maintain security on online networks, and they are the people who are called data detectives and machine risk officers. Flying cars. What is a flying car? Do we actually have something like that? Now, normally this is something we've all seen in science fiction movies, right? Nothing before that. But nowadays, there are already prototypes that are being built in different parts of the world, where they're going to look at converting what we saw in a movie into actual reality. A vertical farm consultant. Now, normally agriculture is done on land, correct? Flat land, horizontal, and that's where we grow. With the paucity of space, with space becoming restrained, with cities growing, nowadays people want organic food, they want fresh food. So this is a huge concept that's growing now, where you're looking at vertical farms and how to look at building that forward. Personal memory curator. Have any of you all watched Harry Potter? So in Harry Potter, there is this one scene where Harry is thinking of his parents, correct? It's a memory of his. But in that memory, he can see them moving. He can see them actually doing whatever they were doing when he was a baby, correct? People nowadays are using AR, which is augmented reality, and VR, virtual reality, to actually curate people's memories so that later on in life, you can always go back and have these valuable memories that you can look at, okay? Haptic and neural interface designer. Okay, back to science fiction again. You know, it's really funny. Sometimes they say art imitates life, and sometimes they say life imitates art. More and more we're seeing that a lot of things that we've always thought of as only being science fiction are all coming true. Now, many of you may have seen a certain scenario where people press something on their hand and something kind of projects, you know. That's actually happening, guys. They're looking at how they can take the body's neural network and connect it to technology so that you can create systems that are wearable, touchable, and usable. So if you come to think about it, right, there are so many choices. And how do you really sit down and make the career choice to figure out which is the best choice for you? Okay, guys, I'm going to request you to start using the chat now. Okay, I'm going to ask you questions, and it'll be great if you guys can respond in the chat when we're looking at something. Okay, now there are 3 factors which they say, you know, when you're looking at how to plan your career, which become important in terms of making the choice. Right? Dr. KK and Judith very rightly spoke to us about how a lot of parents have a certain expectation, a certain influence, a certain thing that they want for their children to do. Okay. And then we have students themselves. And then we have the ecosystem. Okay. Now I'm going to explain all of this in a little bit, but quickly put in the chat, who do you think should actually make the choice of what your career should be? Should it be parents? Should it be students, or should it be the ecosystem? Looking forward to hearing. I see YouTuber. Okay, that's probably not one of the options. Great. Students. Okay, so Rohit is saying students. Yatin is saying me. John is saying students. Okay, super. Okay, so the thing is that, guys, like my previous illustrious speakers also spoke about, it is important for us to also understand where our parents are coming from. Okay, the thing is that, yes, maybe they're saying you should do science when you want to do commerce. Okay, because I got questions from some students saying, what do I do? How do I handle this? Okay, but you have to understand the thought process behind it, right? Parents want what is best for their kids. So they are looking at certain career options as being safe career options, correct? And that's what they are kind of suggesting to you. Or maybe they themselves are in these professions, and therefore there is a certain amount of familiarity with it. Okay, students, of course it is definitely your choice, but the important thing is you have to match passion and profession. Okay, it's not sufficient that you say, oh, I love taking, you know, photographs of sunset on the beach, so that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Maybe you can, I'm not saying no, but can you actually earn a living out of it? Can you actually make money doing that? Correct? Can you grow? Can you succeed in that field? Right? So how can you match your passion and your profession? And then we come to the ecosystem. Now, what do I mean by ecosystem? Do you know that 87 million job roles are going to become obsolete over the next few years? Okay, on the decline. Okay, a whole number of careers are actually going to be completely on the decline because technology has changed things. In the last 30 years, there has been more technological advancement than in the last 6,000 years put together. And this has hugely impacted the job landscape, correct? But the good news is at the same time, there is a huge growing demand. Now, this is a World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. And these are the areas that they're saying are really going to grow in the years going ahead. Okay. So I want you to understand this. Before making a career choice, okay, there are these things that you have to keep in mind. You have to understand what is happening in the world around you, what is happening in the ecosystem, what is happening in the different industries or areas that could potentially seem interesting to you, okay? One of the trends that are shaping our future is what they call the gig economy. Now, what does gig mean? You guys have probably heard of a word called freelancer, okay? Now, a gigger is someone similar to a freelancer, but I'll tell you what the difference is. Now, a freelancer exchanges one particular skill with multiple organizations, okay? Let's presume that I am a writer and I write very well, okay? So I will take my writing skills. I may create some content for a website. I may write in a newspaper. I may write in a magazine, correct? So I'm taking my skill of writing into different areas, okay? Now, a gigger is someone who has multiple talents, okay? See, in the past, people kind of started their careers in one area and ended it in the other area. But nowadays, there are huge opportunities available where you can also hone different skills, correct? So let's presume someone said YouTuber there, right? So let's presume someone is interested in YouTubing, correct? You can make videos related to that. If you're a writer, you can also exchange content. Maybe you like app development. You can look at creating apps as a freelance, right? Maybe you really like cars. So maybe you can look at automobile photography. So it doesn't matter. You can look at various skills and interests that you have and convert all of those into some potential avenue for you to work with, okay? The next important trend is techno-dexterous, okay? Now, does anyone know what the word ambidextrous means? Quickly in the chat, please, again. Does anyone know what ambidextrous means? Vansh is saying coding. No, not related to coding. Okay, so basically some of us use our right hand, some of us use our left hand, correct? And some of us are able to use both, okay? Now, techno-dexterous is being able to use technology in every sphere, okay? I'll give you a quick example. So normally when students are not, someone's kind enough to be playing a song for us during this time. Thank you so much. Could we probably play it after the session? Okay, thank you. Okay, super. Okay, now normally when you think of doing engineering, correct? You say, okay, fine, if I do PCM, I'm going to do engineering. If I do PCB, I'm going to do medicine. So someone who's thinking of medicine is saying, okay, fine, I don't need to know anything about technology or engineering because I'm doing medicine. Do you know that Dr. Devi Shetty, who is a leading cardiologist in Bangalore, has said that they are going to be using robots to perform surgeries? Okay, technology integration is happening across spheres. Okay, whether you're just this session that we're doing right now, correct? Whoever thought 2 years ago that education or schooling was going to be online, right? But we have to adapt and adopt to moving times, right? So what you need to understand is there is technology. It does not mean that you need to know coding. Okay, but what it does mean is you have to be open to understanding the technology relevant to your particular field. Okay, and now we come to multiple roles. I'll explain what that means. Okay, can anyone quickly tell me what this is? I'd like to see it in the chat box. Guys, I'm turning away because my chat's on the right. So whenever you guys type something, I just need to quickly look at it and come back. Okay, so John saying it's a telephone. Okay, Girishwar saying it's a telephone. Super. Okay, so now this is a traditional telephone. Now in this telephone, what was the purpose? We would pick up, make calls and receive calls. That's about it, correct? What are all the things that we can do with telephones today? Quickly in the chat box again. What can we do with our telephones today? Okay, of course, making a call. What else do we use our telephones for? Chatting, correct? Social media, games. Okay, superb. Time pass, says someone. Okay, approximately everything, correct? So, right from being a flashlight, a calculator, a calendar, correct? You're looking at social media, calls, every single thing happens. So, a phone has gone from performing a single role to performing multiple roles. That, my friends, is how the future of work is looking, okay? We are expected to not just know about our single area, but it is very important to have a broad understanding about multiple areas too. Okay, so that was the first step. The second step is identifying your strengths. Okay, how do you know which would be a suitable career for you unless and until you know what is it that you like? What is it that you want to do? So the question really is not, everyone always says, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's not what do you want to be when you grow up. It's what do you want to do when you grow up, right? What is the kind of work that's interesting for you? What is it that excites you, right? So this is something, guys, you have to spend a little time introspecting and looking within yourselves, okay? Because there are going to be a whole bunch of activities that you're looking at. And again, I'm not saying only academically, correct? Turn around and look at what your different interests are, right? What do you like doing? What is exciting? What is fun, correct? What are the things that you can actually do multiple times, okay? Because that's when you identify. And I'll tell you, I had a question from one of the students saying, how do we know what our strengths are? And this is how you identify your strength. So let's take the instance of a child who's learning to play the piano, okay? Now, this parents have put him in a class or her in a class and they're learning to play the piano. Now, there are different scenarios. In one scenario, every time the parents have to kind of remind the child saying, you know what, why don't you practice, and then reluctantly the child is going to practice, which means probably it's a low interest area. The second instance is when the child is probably good at playing the piano, correct? He likes playing the piano, but again, he'll do it only when required, okay? He has class tomorrow, so he'll practice today or something of that sort, right? The third instance is the child really enjoys playing the piano. He doesn't need anyone to come and tell him to do it, correct? So when he has free time, when he sits down, he just wants to do it and he makes him happy, it makes him energetic and he looks forward to doing it, okay? So when you feel that you're able to do something frequently without necessarily getting a push from outside, that's where you know that that could be an interesting area. Now, nobody needs to come and tell you, why don't you go and message your friends? Why don't you go and look at social media? Why don't you go and use your phone? Nobody is coming and telling you, right? Those are things you find interesting, so you end up doing it naturally yourself, okay? If we're applying it to your school, okay, what are the subjects that you find easier, okay? Which are the subjects that align with your personality? And I'll tell you why this is important. Now, I had one student who came to me and who was very good at coding. So now, you know, there's this big, this whole furor about coding. Everyone is saying coding. Everybody's offering coding classes so that everything you hear everywhere around seems to be related to coding. But again, my friends, you don't have to follow a trend. Just because coding is what is popular and is a future career area does not mean that it's the right career for you, okay? So this particular child was actually went for these classes, ended up being very good at coding and even found it pretty interesting, okay? But personality-wise, a completely outdoorsy person, very outgoing, couldn't imagine the thought of sitting in front of a computer the whole day, correct? So it's very important to consider your personality and your subjects when you're considering a career choice, because it's not just because something needs to be done or something is popular that you should go ahead and do it, okay? Which are the subjects in which you have a solid foundation, and which are the subjects that spark an interest in you, correct? Maybe there's something that you'd like to read additionally about a particular thing, right? Of course, we all have our textbooks and all of us are studying our textbooks and going through that for the board exams. But sometimes there are certain things that catch your eye, correct? Where you try to kind of go and explore a little more in that area, okay? And don't compare yourself. Your strength, your uniqueness is yours, okay? All of us tend to do this where you're going to be looking at what let's think of a career choice, right? One of your friends is saying, hey, Macha, I'm going to do commerce. It's easy. I don't like science. You also come. Both of us will go and study in Joseph's, okay? So the thing is that many times we end up making choices for different reasons. So Albert Einstein once said, guys, I request you to go on mute, whoever is off mute. Thank you. Okay, so Albert Einstein once said that if everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, then it's going to spend the rest of its life thinking that it's stupid, okay? All of us are unique, guys. We all have different traits, different attributes, different things that we can do well, correct? Just because we don't do what the person on our right does well and we do something else, doesn't mean that we're lesser in any way, right? So don't compare. Spend that energy exploring yourself and understanding what is it that you can do better, okay? Now, One of the other steps of career planning is learning through experience. So I got questions from students saying, ma'am, what happens if I choose something and I realize later on that I don't like it? Okay. I cannot tell you guys, I have counseled so many students who are at their graduation, who have completed engineering, completed BCom, a child who's done his master's in physics even, okay, who are unhappy with what they're doing, right? Because what happens a lot of times, we end up making career choices for the wrong reasons, maybe pressure, correct? We kind of give in to whatever's around, or sometimes we just don't know what we want to do. So we said, okay, fine, if I don't know what I want to do, it doesn't matter, I'll do something. Anyways, I have to study, I'll study, okay? How do you kind of address this, okay? This is by learning through experience. So let me give you an instance. Suppose you want to buy an iPhone, okay? Now imagine you want to buy an iPhone. Will you go and talk to someone who has an iPhone, or will you go talk to someone who has a Samsung? Will you think that, okay, anyways, all of them are phones, correct? So would you talk to someone in the chat box, please? Would you talk to someone who has an iPhone or a Samsung then, if you're looking to buy an iPhone? Correct? Exactly. So Hirender says you'll talk to someone who has an iPhone. Imagine you want to become an aerospace engineer, okay? General engineering, you can't just go talk to any engineer and say, can you tell me a little bit about this? You have to talk to someone who is an aerospace engineer to really understand nuances about the career, okay? So it's very important, reach out to people in the field. Your parents will have a network of people, maybe your friends, family, uncles, aunts, any areas of yours that seem interesting, correct? Try to explore it and understand it further, okay? A whole bunch of virtual internships. We at Aspire offer a lot of virtual internships in different areas for students to kind of try out different things, correct? To get a sense of what is the kind of work involved and action, okay? Someone said, I want to become a YouTuber. Now, if you want to become a YouTuber, put it into action. Start your channel, start making that first video, start uploading it, do it. Whatever it is that you want to do. Someone said they wanted to become a veterinarian. Okay, so I asked her to go spend some time at CUPA, spend time at different organizations where she actually has to deal with pets. See, it's very nice to, in your head, imagine how a particular career is, okay? But the reality of it may be different. Now, one of my other students came to me saying, ma'am, I want to do marine biology. So I said, fantastic. Okay, so I started giving her all the details about what she needs to do. And I was telling her 50% of the time is going to be spent, diving, and 50% of the time is going to be spent in the lab doing research. And then she was like, no, ma'am, I don't like doing research. That's not interesting for me. Okay. So the thing is that, guys, sometimes we just know a little bit. So she went on a holiday once somewhere. She went diving and she found that whole experience nice. And based on it, she thought that this would be a good, correct? So what we need to do is really learn through experience, right? Talk to people in the industry, get internships, get some exposure. Again, when I'm saying internship, I don't mean a full-fledged job. You all are kids in 10th standard, obviously you can't go out, get a full-fledged job. But there are various opportunities. Look at online learning programs, correct? So there are multiple, so let's just say digital marketing. It's possible for you to do like a 2-hour, 3-hour course on digital marketing online, correct? And understand in further detail, okay? So please try and put it into practice, learn through experience, okay? This is going to be an important thing for you to look at doing, okay? Now, I'm just going to explain to you quickly how you really need to plan different things, okay? At 8th grade, okay, you have to somewhere begin 8th and 9th, somewhere have an idea of what could potentially be interesting, what are the different kinds of careers, right? People start talking around you, you get a sense of different things at that point of time. In grade 10, you need to have clarity on what your subject selection is going to be for the 11th, okay? You need to be able to identify various career interests. You need to know your personality, right? Like I said earlier, correct? So spend some time, guys, doing some amount of introspection. There are some ways we can help you. I'll get to that later. But if you can do it yourself, fantastic, correct? Go ahead and look at that. Or maybe you can do it for each other, right? You kind of analyze what your friend is good at and your friend can do it for you. And you need to identify what is the potential degree you want to look at going ahead, correct? So that's when you know that if I'm looking at engineering, medicine, design, whatever the various areas are, okay? By the time you come to 11th grade, you should have identified what that degree is, correct? And you have to start preparing for your competitive exams. Now, there are a huge bunch of competitive exams. It's no longer just NEET and JEE, correct? Right? It's not just medicine and engineering that have entrance exams. all top colleges now across industry, across specializations, across courses have multiple entrance exams. I'm going to take you through that in a bit. But by this time, you need to know, because guys, competitive exams, you are competing at a national level, okay? It's not sufficient that you just read your textbook and go there. You have to gain additional knowledge. You have to do mock tests, practice tests, get geared up for that, correct? So that's going to take time. It's not something that can happen overnight, and it's not something that you can cram and study like the last 1 month before your exam is, okay? So you have to start this preparation early, all right? Now, when you come to grade 12, what you need to know is, of course, the various career options, correct? So let's just take engineering in itself. Within engineering itself, there is automobile engineering, there's mechatronics, there's electronics, right? There's civil engineering. There is so many different branches within engineering itself. So that clarity you have to get at least by that point of time, okay? If you're looking at studying abroad, you need to begin that processing a year before you need to go and start your undergrad program abroad or your master's program abroad is when you need to start preparing. So just keep that in mind for future reference. We can probably talk about it in another session. That's a whole different topic altogether. And whatever the entrance exams are, correct? What are the deadlines? Now, what will happen is once you have a bunch of exams to give, sometimes you'll get confused with which is the deadline, what is this? So keep track, right? Start an Excel sheet, put everything down, keep track of what are the dates, when the application submission date, when is the entrance exam date. I'm just telling you, this is like a little broader view, but it'll help you kind of plan, of course. And then you look at your UG and PG. Once you've completed that, then it's all about, understanding what the industry needs, what are the industry skills, do you need to upskill, do you need to do a master's, correct? So this is a broad idea of how your career planning has to go over the next few years. Okay, so just to quickly summarize, understanding the ecosystem, identifying your strengths and aptitudes, learning from experience, and choosing your subjects, course, and entrance exams, because you need that knowledge and you need accurate knowledge to be able to do it really well. Okay, now I'm just going to talk to you a little bit because this is a juncture that you guys are at the current moment. Okay, subject combinations. Now I have just taken a sample. Okay, so where you have different subject combinations, so maybe PCM, PCB, commerce related subjects, humanities subjects. Okay, so this is at a point where right now for you all have to decide what your subject combination is going to be going into the 11th. Okay, I have one request, guys. Please don't pick a subject because you don't like another subject, correct? Many people will say, oh, I don't like science, so I want to do commerce. No, that's not the way for you to approach it, right? You have to pick a subject because you want to kind of make a career in that area. And you need to gain knowledge and expertise in that area to get to the next professional level. That's the reason you need to pick it, okay? And you also need to be aware. Now, let's just take an instance of the subject mathematics, okay? Now, maybe there is a student who doesn't want to do engineering, okay? What is the first thing that the student does? Oh, I don't want to do engineering. I'm going to drop math, okay? But what you have to realize is you need mathematics not just for engineering, but also for physical sciences. If you're getting into pure sciences in research, computer applications, architecture, finance and banking, if you want to become a pilot, join the defense forces, merchant navy, if you want to study economics at a higher level, okay? So without realizing and just presuming that, oh, mathematics means engineering, I don't want to do engineering, I'm going to drop it, you may actually close the door on a whole bunch of other areas which could potentially be interesting areas for you, okay? So like I said, when you're looking at your subject combinations, please pay close attention and please choose a subject because you want to study a subject, not because you don't want to study another subject, okay? Now, coming to streams and career paths, okay? Now, there are, of course, the three broad streams, which is science, commerce, and humanities, okay? And all of these lead to different areas. You will study science, arts or commerce as a base in 11th and 12th, and then go into multiple areas, correct? Whether you're looking at research, do you want to become a scientist? Then you need science as a base. And then you can specialize in whether related to biology, chemistry, mathematics, physics, quantum physics, different areas that you want to do. Do you want to do architecture? You need it again. Food and nutrition, you need science again. Data sciences, sports science, and forensic sciences, becoming a pilot, right? There are a whole bunch of career avenues that stem from a science stream. So if science is what you're interested in, then of course you're going to choose science, but be careful what are the subject combinations that you pick to make sure that your future path also stays open into any of these areas, right? Commerce. Commerce, again, we have a wide variety of subjects that are available, and with commerce you can get into economics, finance, investment banking, insurance, actuarial science, risk management, a whole bunch of different areas. Okay, again, it's important and it helps to kind of be able to evaluate and get it. Now, do you want to do so there are two branches within this. There's commerce and then there's management, correct? Commerce deals more with, for example, taxation, accounting. So if you want to become a chartered accountant, ICWA, company secretary, correct? All of these angles of it. And if you're looking at management, that's when you're going down like an MBA route and you're specializing in finance, in marketing, in advertising, event management, sports management, different areas like that. Okay, and humanities. Now, humanities also opens out a huge plethora of activities, correct? Someone wants to become a psychologist, get into art and design, get into, mass communication, journalism, hospitality, social work, a whole bunch of different areas that are there, okay? But what has also happened now, which is fantastic, is that there are opportunities to look at interdisciplinary options, okay, wherein you can combine a subject from science and combine a subject from arts. You can combine a subject from commerce and combine a subject from arts, correct? So if you have varied interests, this will be really interesting because you can then pick and choose and identify a combination that's working well for you, all right? Okay, guys, quickly back to the chat box. Now, if you have a student who's very good at physics, okay, are interested in physics and interested in music, what could potentially be a career option? Okay, good at physics and good at music. What could potentially be a career option? Yeah, I have Rohit, Rabi, all of them saying music, correct. But I'm trying to combine, correct? I'm trying to combine two different areas, correct? Interdisciplinary. Yeah, so maybe let's look at something like a sound engineer, right? Or an audio engineer, correct? Because there you're putting in your knowledge of physics along with your love for music, okay? The next one, what if someone likes sports and likes reading, okay? Someone is really into sports and likes reading too. What could be a potential career option? If I'm trying to combine sports and reading, what could be? Guys, we're trying to look at the combination of both of these areas, okay? Someone says sports management, correct? Sports analyst, fantastic, Syed. Yes, a sports analyst would be a great career option for someone who likes reading and numbers and statistics and also interested in sports. What could we possibly do if we're trying to combine biology and design, okay? If someone is looking to combine biology and design, what could potentially be a career option for them? Okay, doctor is one, design, okay. Yeah, so there are a lot of bio designer, graphic design. So there's also something called prosthetic design, correct? Where people are actually looking to design limbs, internal organs, different parts that can make the human body function a lot more efficiently, okay? So guys, one is different individual streams. One is a combination of interdisciplinary streams where you can look at the ways you can combine different interests, okay? Now, presume you have a certain idea now about which stream you want to look at picking, okay? Based on that, it's very important for you to know the entrance exams because without competitive exams, you are not going to get into a good professional program at the top colleges, okay? So, if you're looking at engineering, okay, everyone of course knows JEE, CET, Comet K, all of these words you'll have already probably heard about, but these would all be the common entrance exams that are required if you're looking at engineering, okay. Medical, of course, there's NEET, and then there are by the All India Institute of Medical Science has an entrance exam, correct, JIPMER. So these are different things. Engineering and medicine, I'm not elaborating too much. I'm sure you guys already know about that. Defense services. I got a question about defense services, correct? So there is the NDA examination. And again, remember that PCM will be required for you to choose, correct? And then you would look at giving either the Indian Maritime or the Army or the Navy based on what it is that you want to look at doing. There are different. So guys, like I said earlier, open up that Excel sheet. I mean, not right now, of course, now you focus on your boards, but after that, correct? Whatever is an interest area, you have to clearly understand what is the path for you, correct? What are the, only then can you prepare for it well. Now, Fashion and design is a huge area also that's there. There are a whole bunch of design courses that are being offered. Even the IITs have design departments, and they have an entrance exam called UCED where people have to pass that to get into IIT design program. Okay, the National Institute of Fashion Technology, National Institute of Design, Symbiosis Institute of Design, Shrishti in Bangalore, a whole bunch of design schools. Okay, there are also a lot of new age colleges like Flame and Kriya, different universities where they do a huge number of interdisciplinary options. Okay, so try and look at what is your area, number one, and then what is the relevant, right? If you're interested in social sciences, then again you have the TIS in Bombay and you have your entrance exam for that. Okay, law, like ma'am has already spoken about, you have the CLAT, which is the common law admission test. You have the LSAT, you have the AILET. Okay, if you are looking at becoming a researcher, if you want to become a scientist, then the Indian Institute of Science would be like an absolutely fantastic option, and they have a separate entrance exam called the KVPY. Okay, and also NEST, right? So guys, what I'm trying to tell you is it's very important not only to decide what you want to do, but also equip yourself with the knowledge to prepare for these competitive exams too. Okay. Now there are different areas. I had someone asking me about joining the police, about bank jobs, all of these areas. Now all of these areas, I've not elaborated on it right now because these are what you go into after your graduation, correct? After your graduation, you will give your civil services entrance exam, and then whether you want to look at joining the IPS, which is the Indian Police Services, or the IAS, IRS, all of these civil service related areas. To get a bank job also, you have to get certified by either the SBI or RBI. They all have different programs that they do. But again, for that too, you need to have completed your graduation. Okay. Now, I know this is like a lot to take in. There's a lot of information I've shared with you guys today, and I'm really happy that you're so patient through the whole thing. Okay. Now, like I was saying, in order to put in the different steps of the career planning, there are some ways that we can actually help you out and simplify the process for you. Okay. So we have a YouTube channel, okay, and here we have interviews with people from different industries. So I have an interview with a data scientist. If you want to look at YouTube as a career, if you're looking at sports as a career, RJing, correct? If you want to look at what different programs. So Flame University is an interdisciplinary college where they have, you'll completely understand how liberal arts works, what are the different kinds of subject choices that are available, right? This is absolutely free resources, guys. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel or just go and watch all these videos. Like I was saying, you have to learn through experience, right? You have to learn either through your own experience or through somebody else's experience. So please utilize these resources to help you kind of plan and, you know, decide what could be interesting, right? Then, like we spoke about, virtual internships. Like this is also a fantastic way, guys. So now we may not always get the opportunity to talk to someone like Judith ma'am to understand what law is all about, correct? She did a great job of kind of taking us through that. But what if you don't have access to someone, correct? Here there are programs available in different areas: ethical hacking, fund management, chartered accountancy, medicine, engineering, law, hospitality, for you to basically look and experience this. Okay. See, guys, the thing that I want to tell you, and like ma'am was also mentioning earlier, is you guys are the future. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing is, all of us at every single point of time imagine a fantastic life for ourselves going ahead, right? Whether it's looking at, you know, a house that we have, a car that we have, the kind of lifestyle we live, are we able to help our family, are we able to travel, whatever the different, the important things are to us. And it is possible for you to do all of this. I'm just going to share a video quickly. Just tell me know if you can hear the. Guys, I think I'm getting some. Can you hear the audio? I'm getting a few messages saying it's not audible. Okay. Okay, so we'll just continue. So essentially what I'm coming to say, guys, is, you have the opportunity right now to really create a fantastic life for yourself in whatever way you want, right? And education and exams are a way of getting us to that step, okay? So I want you to really focus on what you really want to do. How can you really kind of fulfill your potential and really see, guys, we spend 1/3 of our lives at work, okay? Every single day, at least 8 to 10 hours, we're going to be working, right? Isn't it important that we're able to find an area that we're happy with, correct? That is satisfying for us to look at? Because guys, if you don't spend some time exploring and understanding this properly now, okay, imagine 4 or 5 years down the line, you have already spent lakhs on your engineering or professional or design, whatever the courses that you're looking at, right? You would have lost out on 4 or 5 years, right? So it would be a loss of money and a loss of time if you're not able to get into the right course, right? So don't choose it for the wrong reasons, right? Always, I mean, it's great. Everyone has opinions. Everyone wants to tell you different things to do, but don't opt for something just because your friend is doing it or someone else. Don't give in to peer pressure, correct? This is your life. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I hope your friends stay with you forever. But if you think about it, once you've moved to a different school, a different city, then it's always a question of you having to do it for yourself, right? So focus on what's important to you. Okay, now if any of y'all are at a point where it's supremely confusing and you have no idea in terms of where to get started with the process, what to do, how to identify your strengths, what is your personality, what is your aptitude, we have psychometric tests that are available which will help simplify this process for you. Okay, we will kind of map all your aptitudes. We'll tell you, are you creative, are you someone who's good with numbers, what are the different things, are you organization, right? And then what is your different kinds of subjects that you're good at, and we will map the entire thing, correct? We'll match it with your personality, with your aptitudes, right? And then suggest to you what are your top 3 career choices and what could be the potential courses that you're looking at. Again, this is completely optional. If you guys have figured this out on your own, fantastic. Just go through the earlier steps that I was talking to you about, where you can just reconfirm whatever you think is a potential area. And if you feel you need any kind of support, you can always reach out to us. Okay, so like I said, if you go through the psychometric assessment, you get a 20-page report. You'll identify your aptitude, subject, interest, and personality, get your top 3 career choices and your course options. Okay, now normally this is priced at 3,600 rupees, but especially for the students of SJIHS today, it's going to be at a 50% off of just 1,800. Just in case any of you need any kind of support, do feel free to reach out. These are our contact details. Ma'am, I am just kind of looking at the time now. I don't know if I have additional time. I had a few board exam related pointers which could be useful for the students. If time is up, it's great. If not, I can take another 5-7 minutes. Would be great if I could get it. Yeah.
Pooja.
Yes, sir.
Pooja, go ahead for a 5 minutes one. Then we will switch on to Q&A.
Sure.
So after you finish it, I will just do a conclusion and open it for Q&A.
Sure, because this is a section that a lot of students have been doing it across schools and they found it useful. So I'll just take 5 minutes and kind of go through this. Okay, guys, so effectively now, first week of May, exams are starting and people, or June, wherever your exams are going to get big. Everyone is completely stressed. Last few weeks before the exam, what to study, when to study, how much to study, okay? What's really important, see, when you're running a marathon, what happens is you have to prepare for a long time. And similarly for your board exam, you've been preparing the whole year. But it's important that you don't falter right now. How you manage your time and what you're able to do over the last few weeks is going to be really important for you. Okay, so how do you study everything within this limited time? Now, 30 to 40% of your syllabus is really going to get you 70% of your marks. Okay, so identify that using mark schemes, using previous year's papers, using inputs from your teachers. Okay, and then create a detailed plan. Okay, whatever is the duration you have left, maybe you have 30 days left, 45 days left, 60 days left, make a plan for those many days. Okay, now quickly put in the chat box, guys, how many of y'all have actually finished the portion? Do you feel you're 50% ready for your board exam, 60%, 80%? Quickly in the chat box, please. I have only 5 minutes. Okay, so what? Give me a percentage, guys. Are you 50% ready, 60% ready, 80% ready? Okay, Hirender is saying 50%, Yashwant is saying 50, Yatin saying not even 10. Okay, Mohammed saying, Prajan saying 89. Fantastic, right? So all of y'all know actually exactly where you are at the current moment. You know what are the chapters that you finished. You know what you completely don't know anything about. Okay, sit down after this session today or tomorrow and make a plan of all the things that you need to study. Okay, once you have this plan ready, it becomes a lot simpler for you to figure out what you need to do. Every subject has 16, 17, 15 chapters, correct? Identify that and put it down. Okay, now distractions are huge, guys. Every time it's so tempting, someone sends a message, there's a video, there's social media, you want to call, you want to talk to your friends, you want to do everything. Okay, and parents are already saying no, study, no TV, no phone, no this, no that. Now I know it's not possible to not be on any of the devices, but let's look at this scenario. Imagine you're trying to lose weight, okay, and someone tells you please don't eat pizza, and you say okay fine, I'm not going to eat pizza because it'll help me lose weight. But what happens? All the time you're thinking of that stupid pizza. Some smell you'll get, you'll think of pizza. Some ad you'll see, again you'll think of pizza, correct? So you actually spend more time thinking about it when someone tells you not to do it. But if you could just have a slice of that pizza, correct? It would give you the satisfaction and take care of that craving of it, but it would not end up putting on all the weight with the entire pizza. For the next few weeks, just limit your social media, phone, TV usage to a slice. Do a little bit of it. I'm not saying don't do it, but just time it better, okay? And how can you actually time it is what I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, guys, this is a super effective timetable for the last few weeks of your exam. I have spoken to over 500 students across different schools. They've all started implementing it and they found it really useful. And this is why I wanted to take those extra few minutes to share it with you. Okay, now you may be someone who studies in the morning, early morning. You may be someone who studies late in the night, or you may be someone who studies during, like for me, I remember somebody said, no, stay up late in the night, you can concentrate, drink tea, drink coffee, drink Pepsi. I drank everything and I went to sleep. And somebody said, no, wake up very early and study. So I woke up early in the morning, and then my sisters were peacefully sleeping in bed. I was looking at them and I was like, oh no, I also want to go back to bed, right? For me personally, studying during the day worked the best. Now, each of us are different in our study patterns, okay? So you can adopt and adapt this timetable to suit it. Like maybe you wake up at 9 o'clock, that's great. Start it from 9 and then go on. Maybe you sleep at 12. So just adopt it to whatever you're using, okay? Now, the most important thing that I need you to realize is please stop sitting in front of your books for 4, 5, 6 hours, correct? We're invariably sitting over there. We are holding the book, okay? But our mind is wandering constantly, right? It is not possible for the mind to concentrate for 5, 6 hours at a stretch, okay? What is possible for us to do is to concentrate in 2-hour bursts, okay? So let's do this. We wake up at 5:30, 6 to 8 is our first study module, okay? We're going to pick up the first subject. After about an hour, just get up, walk around a little and come back. Then you're going to get an hour and a half's break, okay? 8 to 9:30, you're absolutely free. From 6 to 8, put your phone aside. Keep it away. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just saying don't use it at that point of time. We don't need additional distractions. We're just going to focus at that point. 8 to 9:30, sit on your phone, sleep on your phone, sleep. Do whatever you want. I don't care. 8 to 9:30 is your time, okay? Eat, have breakfast, relax, whatever you need to do, okay? Then from 9:30 to 11:30, solve a practice test, okay? This is very important, guys. A lot of kids end up not finishing the paper on time. So you need to practice and practice and practice as much as you can, okay? Maybe you have done, your prep exams, maybe you have done pre-boards, all of that stuff is there. But the more you can practice with writing and finishing in a particular time, it's going to be really helpful for you during your exams, okay? So again, 2 hours. Then 11:30 to 12:30, take 1 hour break. See, what I want you to see is I am giving you all ample breaks, okay? You have 1.5, 2 hours during the day at multiple points of time. And this will actually help you because it makes sure your mind is alert, correct? So those 2 hours when you study, you're able to do it a lot more effectively, okay? Then from 12:30 to 1:30, you've done the practice test. Go through all of it. Whatever you know, fantastic. What you don't know, mark the areas. Right? And then work on all the sums that you didn't know or whatever answers that you didn't know, relearn that, correct? So with that, it's done. From 1:30 to 2:30 or 3, have lunch, take a nap. Please take a nap. Many kids after lunch will again sit with their books, be feeling very, very sleepy and not studying, but just holding the book for the next 2 hours, dozing half and half, okay? Take a proper half an hour nap, okay? And wake up refreshed, okay? Guys, we don't have time to waste right now, correct? In a manner of this timetable, you're able to do everything, right? You're getting time to be on the phone, to watch TV, to take breaks, to, you know, take a nap, and to study. And at the end of the day, without feeling fatigued by the whole thing. Imagine if you sat with your books for like 6-7 hours. At the end of it, you're like, oh God, I spent the whole day studying. But what happens? I've not completed, I've hardly finished 2 or 3 chapters, correct? That's what we're trying to avoid now, okay? Post that, 2:30 to 4:30, you do another 2-hour module of studying. Try and mix up the subjects, combine the subjects. You don't necessarily have to study the same subject every day, okay? Bring in variations and bring in other subjects, because this keeps your mind a lot more alert, okay? So if you're doing subject 1 in the morning, then you can take a test in something else and then do subject 3 or 4 later on. Okay, then again, similarly, another hour's break, another 2-hour study module, and then break for lunch and dinner. Okay, now the last segment is what's important. Now, there may be many of us who have not completed portions, who have a lot to memorize, who are finding formulas difficult, who are finding theory difficult. This time after dinner, before you go to sleep, is a fantastic time to memorize, okay? So whatever you need that you needs to be memorized, please do it at this time, okay? And my request to you is don't watch TV or don't get on your phone just before you go to sleep, okay? If you can study at that point of time and go to sleep, your mind is continuously processing the information. So the areas that are tough for you, you will be able to learn easily. Okay, so anyways, you have your dinner break, make it longer, make it 1.5 hours. You finish your serial watching, whatever you need to do at that point of time, and then wind down your day with studying whatever is tough and going to sleep. Okay, guys, so this is a super effective timetable. Please adapt it in whichever way you want to kind of suit your study pattern. Okay. I'm going to skip all this. I think we're out of time. One small request is if you have an exam center that is not part of that is not in your school, please try and visit the exam center beforehand. Okay, because sometimes kids end up getting late on the morning of the exam and you don't need the additional stress and pressure. Okay, and try not to talk to your friends. Please talk to your friends. I know you love your friends love you. Talk to them after the exam is over. Before the exam, imagine you're entering the exam hall and they're saying, hey, Dad, did you finish this? And if you have not done it, that's it. That thought is going to be on your mind saying, oh, no, I haven't finished it. And that's the mood that you're going to take into the exam. You don't need that stress, okay? After the exam is done, talk to them as much as you want. Okay, guys, that's about it. I'm sorry for taking additional time, but I thought this would be helpful to you all, okay? So yeah, thank you very much. I'm done.
Welcome. Thank you, Pooja. Wonderful, and I'm quite sure all the kids would have liked it, and they will be remembering a lot of inputs that you would have given. They will carry home a lot of ideas. More importantly, dear young friends, I would say that as many years or 22 years you spend in the education, and 40 years is what is the career life what you would be having. So now, as good friend, education expert Pooja was mentioning, you read, remember, and recollect. When you say the memorizing, the mechanism what I was following way back 40 years back in 76 when I took my exams. When you memorize, try to write it on a paper. Use a paper, pen, whatever you would have read from the morning. Sit down in front of a desk, take your book, and say what all you have read. That chapter 1, what did you read in the chapter? That's how you are able to. What you read, you should remember, and what you remember, you should be able to recollect. And what you do, the reading, remembering, recollecting, is what you're going to write when you're going in front of an examination. Second, as you move from your all the focus now should be for the exams, and exams is when all the advice what Pooja has given or Judith was mentioning. Sit down for a few days, take your time before you jump in for what your career you're looking at. There's nothing like a hard and fast. The new education policy what the country has is come out with recently. AICTE has come out with an option that you don't have to do mathematics and physics to become an engineer. I don't know how it will be possible, but then there are pros for it and cons again on whether you have to be you should know engineering and physics, So these are some choices, but then spend some time all by yourself. Check what are your strengths, what is it you want, what are your likings, what sort of passionate. And as Pooja was mentioning, check with some few people, maybe your uncles, maybe some friends, parents. They'll be able to advise what are the choices, and be happy. First thing is learn to be happy, be positive. Have a great day. Now we will be open to questions, and our two friends, they will be moderating the questions. You can have the questions on your chat box. Yep. Go ahead, friends. Okay, now as we have the questions coming up, uh, Praveen and others, somebody will be moderating. They'll be asking the questions. Maybe we have three here, Pooja, Judith, and I. We will see what help we can give. Like somebody wants to do CA after second PUC. Would that be okay to take that question? So for doing your CA, you can do that. That's, you have to take that exam. Pooja, would you like to tell about the exam? They have to go ahead first for CA, and then start for the education of CA, either doing along with BCom or with BE, BA, any of those things. You can do your CA post 12th standard.
Thank you, experts, for your valuable inputs. Life is as simple as these three questions. What do I want? Why do I want? And how will I achieve it? Welcome the challenges, look for the opportunities in every situation to learn and welcome. Now I would like the students to come forward and raise their queries and questions in the chat box or in the YouTube comment section. We have a few questions from our students. On behalf of them, we MCs will be asking, so we would like the experts to answer to those questions. The first question, can you please discuss about parental pressure and peer pressure? My parents want me to join the science, but I am interested in commerce. What would be your opinion?
Shall I take that, or would either of you all like to respond?
Yeah, Pooja.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you like to
So
take
guys,
that?
so like I was telling you during the course of the presentation, that it's very natural that there are going to be times when what you may want to do is different from what someone else wants you to do. Okay, and there will be parental pressure, there will be peer pressure. The thing is that you have to remember at one level that you don't think of your parents as being the enemy in that sense, like, oh no, they're not letting me what they want to do, because they are coming in from a point of concern. Okay, if you, like I told you, if you do thorough research, if you talk to people in the industry, and if you get proper details of how your steps are and what your career path is going to look like, you can convince them. Honestly speaking, there could be commerce and MBA graduates who are earning a lot more than what engineers are learning. Okay, if you are able to talk to your parents and explain this to them, because ultimately it is boiling down to having a secure job and to be able to be earning well. Okay, so if what you want to do is different from what your parents want you to do, you can't just say, illa papa nangishta, I want to do that. That's not justification enough. Do your research, understand what you want to do, show a clear path, and let your parents also talk to someone who has done an MBA. I'm just saying MBA, for instance, correct? So they also get an idea. Okay, thank you. Next question, please.
The second question, if I am specialized in a particular skill, will that help in my future career?
Can you define what you mean by skill, or rather whichever student shared that, because skill is very broad. Are you talking about a subject? Are you talking about like communication skills? What do you mean?
It's about a subject skill, ma'am.
So if you're good at a particular subject, can you rephrase that question? If you're good at a particular subject, what does he want to know?
Will that help in my future career?
Of course. So if you are choosing to kind of specialize in a particular area, correct? So let's just take that you want to become a biotechnologist, correct? And your knowledge of biology is excellent, then it's definitely going to help you succeed in your career.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
The third question, if I have completed graduation in a particular course and have a job, if I don't get a job, so what is my next option?
You said both. You said I have a job and then you said I don't have a job. So can you repeat that question? Yeah, Nikhil, is he saying that he... Okay, sir, Dr. KK, you'd like to take that?
Yeah. So, typically, what happens in this situation is, what is the job you're looking at? What education graduation you did? It could be possible that within the same graduation there could be a specialization which you can look at. Second one is look at what is your interest at that particular time. Are you supposed to go immediately for a job? So now when you go for a particular job, a little while back, Pooja ma'am, she was mentioning about being a freelancer or being a gig economy employee. So these are various choices come up. So it depends upon what did you do. Like we do have issues today, in the market. I would have done a BA in some arts and say that I would have done BA in political science, and I'm looking for a job. Which company would like to take is somebody in BA in political science? Then you will have to see what are your strengths as a BA political science guy. Are you good at writing some blogs? Are you good at writing articles? Are you good at some sort of a journalistic instinct you have? So maybe you can do a small diploma in mass journalism. You can do a post-graduation diploma in mass journalism. Improve your skills of writing, improve your skills of communication, and see that you can get into today so many media. Like somebody was mentioning about becoming a YouTuber. You can have your news informations or becoming a good blogger. So it depends upon what is it you're looking at, my friend. Next question.
The fourth question, how should we choose the jobs? Is it according to our marks or according to our passion?
Okay, job is not because of marks, my friend. Job is not according to your passion. The job choice is based on what you would like to do and growing from there. And whether you want to pursue something differently. You have people like our late great singer S.P. Balasubramaniam, and even the current famous singer Shankar Mahadevan. Both of them having been engineers. They worked as engineers, but then they moved on to becoming one of the best singers. Today, you just cannot have any single day without hearing a Balasubramaniam or a Shankar Mahadevan on any of the particular channels. So the choice of your job, again, it depends on the course, what exactly you are trying to do, and what sort of a fashion. I have a friend who is a computer engineer, spent about 10 years in the IT field. She left that and went on to become an interior decorator, Ramya by name. So what happens is, maybe at that particular time, you will have a different choice or something else comes up to you. Thank you.
The next question, how do personalities and skills relate to our career choice? Will skills affect us getting high paid and low paid jobs?
Pooja?
Yeah. So your skills are what you're referring to as the subject for the knowledge that you're going to gain through your education, correct? So if you are an engineer versus a BSc graduate, yes, it will affect your paycheck, okay? Because at least at the beginning, maybe if you can do exceedingly well in your career at a later time, you can get a jump. But your skills does affect it because it depends on what you study. It depends on where you study from, right? So most colleges have placement opportunities, and colleges that are top ranked invariably end up getting better placements for students at much higher starting salaries. Yeah.
The next one. What should be the combination required for Indian Navy?
So you need PCM definitely. Okay. And then, like I said, you'll have to prepare for the entrance exam.
You have to take an NDA exam, Pooja?
Yes, sir. I had mentioned that earlier in the.
Yep.
Yeah.
The next one. I don't know what to do for CA after PUC. What are the courses I need to take up?
Yeah, okay. So if you're looking at doing your CA, okay, CA is something that you normally will be able to complete only post graduation. Okay, what happens is alongside your graduation, you will start preparing for the CA foundation, CA intermediate, and the CA final will happen later. So in most cases, students end up opting for BCom as their graduation option, okay, and then studying CA alongside.
So you take a foundation test when you want to go in for CA. Once you qualify through the foundation test, then you register for taking the CA exams.
Yeah.
So, you can take any graduation. Why people take BCom is because most of the chartered accountancy subjects would go along with what you are studying in the day college or the evening college.
Next one. How do we make our choices for our career when we have so many choices?
Yeah, so guys, this is why I was talking to you about a couple of things where you're looking at one, what are things that you're good at? What are things that there are many choices, yes, but it doesn't mean that you're interested in everything. Let's just take food, correct? If you look at food, there's Italian, there's Indian, there's Chinese, there are thousands of options that are available, and in every type of cuisine, there are hundreds of dishes available. It doesn't mean that just because it's available, you like everything, correct? So you first need to figure out what is it that you like and then accordingly make the choices. Okay.
Next one. Is there any scope for being a visual artist? What courses can I take up for it?
Yeah. So there is a lot of scope to be a visual artist. If you look at any industry, okay, innovation is key, and innovation is one of the key skills that people are looking at going ahead also. Okay, it depends on how clearly you know what you want to do, correct? Right from doing like a bachelor in fine arts to doing a bachelor of design, depending upon what kind of work you're interested in doing, you can select. But if you just go and look at courses related to becoming a visual artist, to becoming a designer, this will actually help you. Bachelor of Design is also a comprehensive course where you're able to understand the various nuances of design, aesthetics, colors, different things put together, which helps you kind of go further in that. Yeah. Next, please.
Okay. Pooja,
yes, sir.
Pooja, guide, maybe our kids would be looking at how to prepare for competitive exams. Would you like to give them an idea how to prepare?
Yeah. Okay. So of course, the first thing is identifying which is the relevant competitive exam for you. Now, for instance, even if you're looking at Christ College to do a BBA program, they also have an entrance exam, an interview process. Guys, in terms of preparation, like I said, you have to start preparing in the 11th, okay? If you can identify over the next few months, what is it that you want to look at doing, okay? You have to start, and invariably for everything, there are coaching classes and courses available, okay? Whether you're looking at NEET, whether you're looking at NIFT, whether you're looking at NID, whatever program it is that you're looking for, there are a huge bunch of online resources available and coaching classes available. Please don't think that you can do it yourself, and I'll tell you why. Please get external support, because a huge part of cracking competitive exams is being able to think in the way, correct? It's not just subjects. So maybe for your JE exam, correct, you are still talking about heat and motion, you're still talking about, thermodynamics, the same chapters that you're studying, correct? But the format of questioning is completely different. Okay, competitive exams end up being a lot more application based. It's not just pages and pages of theory. Okay, so unless and until you do a lot of mock tests, a lot of practice tests, you will not be able to kind of gauge the kind of questions that are going to come in. Okay, so please do some additional support in whatever form, right? Whether you want to take it online, whether you want to join somewhere, but you need to start preparing in the 11th, and that's very important.
Thank you, Pooja. And kids and friends, I would say that as you go for your exams or on your subjects, please like those subjects, whatever you're going to take it. Unless you don't like it, you will never be able to read it, memorize it, or remember it, or recollect it. Maybe during my particular school days, in my 8th or 9th standard, I was not liking mathematics earlier. But somehow I had a very good teacher. And then it was the teacher's encouragement that I started liking the subject called maths, and where I used to normally just get about 60-odd%. I had a distinction in maths, almost scoring more than 90% way back in 1976, and topping the school. And you have to like the subject. If you like the subject, you'll start. So when you prepare for exams, anything, like all the subjects what you are studying for, okay? And any questions you have, you're going to put it in your chat box, or you can please send it directly to your school coordinators who are currently coordinating. They will take down those questions and they will send you the replies. They'll be able to reply to your satisfaction. So we would be going to the end of it. Pradeep, Rotarian Pradeep, you would like to, before we start? Yeah, I'll ask Rotarian
Yes,
Pradeep.
KK. Yes, yeah. Am I audible?
He is speaking. Pradeep is speaking.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. That was really.
I would like to thank.
1 minute. 1 minute. Let me finish. Yeah. So that was really a mind-boggling session. I'm sure there was a lot of inputs to the students, and I'm sure they'll be useful. I'm really glad I'm not starting a career, actually ending a career and retiring now. So, yeah. So, principal, vice principal, faculty of St. Joseph's Indian High School, Dr. KK, Judith, Pooja, fellow RBO members, and my dear students. When I was in the 10th standard, I had only 3 choices: science, commerce, or arts.
Pradeep, go back a little because we are not able to see you.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Now go ahead. Now speak. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I remember when I was in the 10th standard, we had only 3 choices, which was science, commerce, and arts. So depending on the scores that you get, you would take the science, commerce, or arts. I hope that we had this kind of a session when I was in the 10th standard. I would definitely have made a better choice and a better career. Thank you. And today you have so many choices now. It is confusing as well as very exciting also for the students now. With all the information that they have, I'm sure each one of the students will take a wise decision in their career. I would like to congratulate Interact Club for taking this initiative. I'm really very happy that they have taken this. I would like to congratulate each and every one of the Interact members, and especially the guide Akila, who was there coordinating this from the last couple of months. And I would urge them to make more and more programs from the Interact Club side, and my guidance and guidance of others also will be there for the Interact Club. I would like to congratulate them once again for a wonderful job done. I would like to immensely thank KK for taking this initiative and coordinating, and the team Pooja Iyer, Judith George, for all their valuable inputs, suggestions to the students, which will go a long way in shaping their future. Thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart for all of you. And I'm sure that the students are going to use it as much as possible. So thank you all of you. And I hope you enjoyed this session and going to use it as much as possible. That's it, Akela, from me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Pradeep, sir. So, Pradeep, sir, has been guiding us in the interaction from the beginning. So, now I would like to call upon Master Vishal Acharya, the Club Service Director of Interact Club, to give a brief introduction about Pradeep Devata.
Good afternoon to one and all here. Myself, Vishal Acharya, the Club Service Director of Rotary Interact Club. I'm here to give a brief introduction about the Rotarian Mr. Pradeep Devata. Mr. Pradeep Devata is the Youth Service Director of Rotary Bangalore Orchards this year. As the Director of the Youth Services, he has been in touch with the Interact Club of various institutions. He studied in East West School and completed his higher education in BMS College of Engineering. He was a member of NGO Bangalore South Round Table 96 and later became the president of it. He has been a member of Rotary Bangalore Orchards from past 10 years. He hosted meetings to inform us about the workings of the Rotary Club and Interact Club. He has been guiding us in planning and execution of events in the school. We thank him for his great service and we are truly grateful for his help. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Master Vishal, for your brief introduction about Mr. Pradeep Devata.
Teaching is the one profession that creates all other professions. With this, I would like to welcome our beloved Vice Principal, Savita ma'am, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Master Vice. Good afternoon, dear parents, the students, the staff, and all the guest speakers. Dear parents and students, we all know how important is the future of our children. And to make a right decision is even more crucial. In this regard, career guidance is an essential factor for identifying the real potential
Ma'am, you're not audible. We can't hear you. We haven't been able to hear you from the beginning. Could you please restart?
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, dear parents, students, the staff, and all the guest speakers. Dear parents and students, we all know how important is the future of our children. And to make a right decision is even more crucial. In this regard, career guidance is an essential factor for identifying the real potential and guiding students towards a right career path. Dear students, we all need to be aware of the opportunities available before you choose an academic stream after your board exam. What most of the students do? Most students pick up a commonly known domains as their career option, or they would just go with the influence of friends, media, family, role models, available options in a particular college, forgetting about their interest and hard work. Finally, they become dropouts. Dear students, I tell you, each one of you have your own dreams. You have your own will and wish to have a fantastic future ahead. Likewise, your parents also have their own dreams about you. Ultimately, they want you to excel in a particular field, especially in life. In this direction, I'm sure this session has helped you to dream differently and to reorient your goals and to plan in a particular or proper direction for a better prospectus. This career counseling has opened a new horizon to each one of you to think broadly and to explore your talents, strengths, and interest. Now, the great task ahead of you is to focus on your upcoming examination. To accomplish this task, you require hard work and perseverance and faith in God. You just heard so many things from these inspiring people, how the opportunities are wide open and the traits you all need to observe in yourself. We just have to grab them. Don't let the opportunities go. Be self-disciplined. Be ready to accept the challenges positively. Focus on your goal. Seek guidance from your parents and teachers. Have faith in God and be humble. Remember, finally, it's not the money that matters. It's all about humanity. Success will be yours. At this juncture, on behalf of the principal, the staff, students, I would like to appreciate and congratulate all the guest speakers, Dr. Krishna Kumar, Ms. Judith P. George, Ms. Pooja Iyer, for a wonderful and insightful session. I'm sure all of these students and parents have benefited a lot from this session. I also take this opportunity to thank Mr. Pradeep Devta and Mr. Farooq for their support, and Ms. Akila, Ms. Nirma, and all the students of Interact Club for planning and organizing this event in a wonderful way. Thank you, dear parents and students, for your active involvement. We look forward for your great future. God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Savita ma'am, for that inspiring words of acknowledgement. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Now, I would like to call upon Master Govardhan, the International Service Director of the Rotary Interact Club, to give away the vote of thanks.
Feeling gratitude and not expressing is like wrapping a present and not giving it. It's not happiness that brings us gratitude, it's gratitude that brings us happiness. No matter what language you speak, a kind and smiling thank you always speaks to everyone's heart. Good afternoon to everyone present here. My name is Govardhan, and it is a great honor and privilege for me to present the vote of thanks on this wonderful occasion. First and foremost, I thank our principal, Reverend Father Cyril Menezes, the ever vibrant, cheerful, and enthusiastic person who has always worked hard for the betterment of students. Thank you, Father. I also thank our vice principals, Mrs. Savita and Reverend Father Felix Anand SG, who have rendered lots of service in a modest way to the students. I extend my sincere thanks to our special guests, Dr. Krishna Kumar, Ms. Pooja Iyer, and Ms. Judith B. George, who, despite their busy schedule, have found time to grace this occasion. I also thank Mr. Pradeep Devata and Mr. Farooq for their words of encouragement, their able guidance that has encouraged us a lot. Thank you, sir. A special thanks to our teachers, Ms. Akila, Ms. Nirma, Mr. Truman, and Mr. Praveen for their kindful support. And I also thank all the teachers who have graced this program. I also thank Master Nikhil, the president of the Interact Club of St. Joseph Indian High School, and all the members of the club who took the initiative to organize this program. Last but not the least, I thank all the students, parents, and everyone present here for making this program a great success. Once again, I thank all for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Govardhan, for the words of gratitude.
Thank all the
With
teachers
this,
who have
we
graced
have
this
come to the
program.
end of this
I also
webinar
thank
on
Master
career
Nikhil,
guidance.
the president of the.
We hope that this webinar was helpful.
Thank you.
All for your active participation in this webinar. I Vaishnav
And end this webinar on a happy note. Thank you.
Thank you.